Hey guys, it is Logan Holmes, and in this video, I am going to rank all four Shrek movies. This was originally going to be a movie review on the first movie, but then I decided, I got a request from, Amalgamation, I think, to do this video. Hold on, I should have pulled up the tab when I did this. So anyway, this was originally going to be a movie review on the first movie, which I might do that sometime. But I decided, you know what, maybe instead of, reviewing the first movie, maybe I'll rank all of the movies. Because I don't want this to be just a review channel. I want to do a lot more than reviews. Yes, this is going to be a cartoon and video game channel, but it won't just be reviews. If I can pull up that comment, the request. Yes, amalgamation. I'm not too sure how this is pronounced, but, this is who requested the video 6 days ago. So, that's what I'm going to do. And, I did a poll on Twitter, and I asked you which Shrek was your favorite. And, I got 4 votes. 3 of you said Shrek, and 1 of you said Shrek the Third. So I'm going to be, is Shrek the best movie out of all these? Let's see. Okay, so number 4 is Shrek the Third. Yes, I got 1 vote for this, but really, Shrek the Third is not that good, I'll say. Pat Collins of WWOR-TV calls it the best Shrek yet. Look, that is a statement that I just can't agree with, obviously. Look, this is not a bad movie. There's just really nothing in this movie that's, absolutely nostalgic. I mean, this is the movie where we got the ogre babies. So I guess that you could say that that's kind of nostalgic, but really, and then of course there were those hybrid dragon donkey babies, those two. But really, besides that, nothing. I mean, those are, milestones in the Shrek franchise. But besides that, no, nothing really stands out as, absolutely nostalgic. So, I mean, you think, I mean, this movie's from 2007, the 2000s. The 2000s was the decade that I grew up in, and so this is one thing from the 2000s that really doesn't stand out as, like, really good. So, I mean, you got this guy, Merlin, and of course, like, at the beginning, you have the, Fiona's dad dies at the beginning. And so, I mean, it's not really just that good, really, I'd say. Um, I mean, there's really, okay, his death. There's really nothing. I mean, of course, you could say that his death, I'd say, would be, kind of sad, I guess. Not like, Life of Brian sad or anything like that. Which, with that Family Guy episode, Life of Brian, I've talked before about how I think that episode is overhated, and of course that's from the 2010s, so this is after kind of then, they had to find this Merlin guy, and really there's just nothing too nostalgic about that, and it kind of lost the humor that was in the first two movies. So, yeah. I mean, it is kind of good, but it's not the best Shrek yet. So, the one person on Twitter that voted for Shrek the Third, just so you know, I'm not saying that this is a bad movie. Okay, number 3, we have Shrek Forever After. Okay, we kind of got back to the humor a little. So this here is, from 2010, the first year of the 2010s, the decade. Or I guess tens, you could probably say. As we call, like, the 1990s, the 90s. But anyway, let's kind of go on with that. So, this guy, Stiltskin, this here's your main, like, villain. Shrek signs a contract with him that sends him to, like, this different universe. I guess you could say where, of course, Donkey's never seen him before in his life. And, yeah, I'd say that's gotten pretty interesting. Still, we get some humor back, but really still not humor from the first two movies, I'd say. And of course, USA Today, Jean Shalit of Today said that it was absolutely wonderful. I mean, I guess I could kind of agree with that. So, yeah, and we also get to see this fat puss, which I guess is kind of, I'd say that would be that was kind of funny too. So, yeah, now on to number 2. That would be Shrek 2. None of you voted for Shrek Forever After. None of you voted for Shrek 2 either. This is the, by the way, Shrek is my favorite, DreamWorks franchise, I'd say. Anyway, and, and DreamWorks' highest grossing movie is in the Shrek franchise, and it is Shrek 2. So, this has got a lot of humor. So basically there's, the royal ball, and where Fiona's parents, get to meet Shrek. And then, there's, we get Prince Charming, from the first movie. They had said, that Prince Charming, Fiona was expecting Prince Charming, but she got Shrek. So, yeah, so, and also, and then, of course, Shrek comes across, the fairy godmother, and then Shrek finds out that, ogres don't fall in love with princesses, so then he gets a potion from her. And then, it turns Shrek and Fiona into, they become human, and then Donkey becomes a stallion. And then, Shrek tries to find Fiona, but then, Prince Charming comes across Fiona and tells her, "I'm Shrek." And, Shrek has to, and then, the fairy godmother is like, "You will always be an ogre, and, if you and then Shrek's like, "But I'll love her," and then the fairy godmother's like, "If you really love her, you'd let her go." But then, and then, the only way to stop it is if Shrek and Fiona kiss each other by midnight, which of course that does end up happening. So then the humor, you got the whole beginning with Donkey and, him being all annoying on the way to the royal ball, but I mean, it's good. And then you've got Pinocchio wearing ladies' underwear, and, And yeah, so Shrek 2 is a good movie. And the best is Shrek. You guys said that Shrek was your favorite too. Three of the four of you said that. So, yeah, Shrek. Somebody once told me that the world was gonna roll me, but I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. That would be the lyrics to All Star by Smash Mouth. The song that is used, after, at the beginning of this movie, after they say once upon a time, like they tell, that story, and then we get to, oh, and one more thing, that once upon a time opening, that's one thing about Shrek the Third that's not really good, because Shrek the Third does not have the once upon a time opening for some reason. And anyway, so then Shrek meets Donkey after he, meets, this talking donkey named Donkey, of course. And then, and they kind of become friends. And and then all these fairy tale characters take over Shrek's swamp by order of Lord Farquaad, and then Shrek and Donkey have to Lord Farquaad tells Shrek and Donkey to rescue Princess Fiona from the highest room and the tallest tower. And then Shrek takes off his helmet, and Fiona was expecting Prince Charming. But then it's later found out that after the sun sets, Fiona turns into an ogre, and it's been like that for as long as she can remember. And oh, what else? Oh yeah, so then Fiona says that she turns into an ugly beast after the sun sets. Well, Shrek heard it, and Shrek thought that Fiona was talking about him. But then Shrek later, decides to rescue, get Fiona, and then says that, Lord Farquaad, only wants to marry her, so he can become king. That's why Farquaad wants to marry Fiona, because if he does, then he'll become, if he marries a princess, he'll become king. But then, oh yeah, there was this dragon in the tower, in the tower that Fiona was, a fire-breathing dragon guards, the tallest room in the tallest tower. Oh, sorry about that. The dragon eats Farquaad. And then, Shrek kisses Fiona, and then, Fiona becomes an ogre because of the kiss. And then, of course, we have our humor. It's got a lot of humor. Of course, there's this thing, at, Duloc, where Farquaad's at. It says, "Welcome to Duloc, it's a perfect place." Like, says something, right? And, it says, "Wipe your face." They're supposed to say, "Wipe your ass." And, which, I thought was kind of funny, but there is still a problem with that. They actually used ass in this movie a few times uncensored, so I really don't get why they did that weird thing, why they said "wipe your face" if there were uncensored uses of ass in the movie. But that's not really a big problem. It does not keep it from being the best DreamWorks movie ever. What's another thing? And then some of the joke, and of course there is the jokes. Well, besides the jokes, there's also, your soundtrack, of course. You've got, Smash Mouth. You've got their songs, All Star. The song that there have been so many memes from. So many memes made out of, that is. And then at the end, of course, there's, Smash Mouth's "I'm a Believer." Their cover of the Monkees' "I'm a Believer." And then Donkey also sings it too. Oh, and by the way, I know you can hear the Game Shakers theme song in the background. By the way, I hate Game Shakers. I'm sure like many of you, but it's just what's on TV right now. I'm not watching Game Shakers. So just so you guys don't keep on, so I don't get a lot of so please don't comment saying, "Why do you like Game Shakers? That show sucks." It does suck. I don't like Game Shakers. Anyway. So, yeah, and then, while there's, the, well, after, Farquaad chooses Fiona, you can kind of hear, Do You, Escape by Rupert Holmes. And then you also had, Hallelujah, by John Cale, a cover of, um, of the Leonard Cohen song.